Every now and then, life hands you a moment so simple, so ordinary, that you almost miss the deeper message. But when you catch it, you realize it was never simple at all. It was symbolic. And that's exactly what happened when I took my son to breakfast. We had gone to work out and I was starving, so I said, let's go to breakfast, my treat. We sat down at a restaurant he calls bougie. We laughed, we talked, and everything was normal until the bill came. And suddenly my son started explaining to the waitress why he wasn't paying. Not because he didn't have it, and not because I asked him not to, but because there were a few young women sitting close by and he didn't want them to think he was lacking. That moment told a whole story. It exposed the script that so many of us inherited long before we had the language to describe it. A script that says your value is tied to how much you can provide, and your respect is determined by your ability to cover the cost, and your identity is reflected in a bill. And seeing him do that brought back a memory from my own life, a moment over 25 years ago when I didn't have the money and my ex slid me cash under the table so no one would notice. And then it all clicked. This programming is not about gender. It's not about roles. It's not about who is masculine or feminine. It's universal. We've all been taught to hide lack, to fear judgment, and to protect perception, and to perform instead of embodying who we really are. This is not financial programming. It is definitely identity programming. You see, this script comes from a time when survival roles determined status, when physical providers were valued and being unable to pay was seen as failure. Even though that would no longer exist, the subconscious memory of those roles, they still do. So generations pass down the belief that money equals worth, that providing equals power, and that not paying equals inadequacy. You see, this is how we inherit beliefs without questioning them. When people believe their identity is tied to economics, they perform financial strength even when it's not true. They hide their human moments. They fear being seen in temporary lack. And they defend themselves against judgments that aren't even real. You see, they shrink when life begins seasons of transition. People start shaping their behavior around perception instead of truth. This is why someone will explain why they're not paying a bill. This is even why someone will hide money being passed under the table. This is why people feel the need to justify themselves. It is the fear of what the moment means. See, provision is not financial. Provision is energetic. Providing is emotional presence, groundedness, it's wisdom, it's intuitiveness, it's clarity, stability, love. Money is the lightest form of provision, not the deepest. Your identity is not in your wallet, it is in your energy. You see, the way we can break this spell is to detach worth from financial performance. Paying or not paying does not determine value, only alignment does. We should stop protecting an image that isn't real. If you aren't paying today, let that be the truth. No performance, no explanation. And we can redefine provision in our lives. Provision equals support, presence, grounding, intuition. Money is a small expression of a larger truth. Normalize being seen. We cannot fear being witnessed in our humanity. The moment is temporary. Your identity is not. Teach the next generation neutrality. They don't have to perform worthiness, they already are it. So when I saw my son explaining himself to a waitress, a person he did not even know, I realized he wasn't speaking to her, he was speaking to the programming. And in remembering my own moment, I realized I once did the same. This is how we break generational patterns by recognizing them in real time and choosing truth over performance, because paying the bill does not define anybody, but presence, character, alignment, and truth, they absolutely do. And that is where real worth lives. Come on now, you got this.